ఐ వాజ్ షాక్డ్. ఓపెనింగ్ సీక్వెన్స్, ఆ బర్గ్లరీ, ఆ షిప్లో దోపిడీ, వాళ్ళందరూ వెళ్ళటము, ఆ షిప్లోంచి కింద దూకడము, అండర్ వాటర్ సీక్వెన్సెస్, దట్ ఎంటైర్ సీక్వెన్స్, దట్ ఫస్ట్ ఐ థింక్ ఇట్స్ సమ్ 6-7 minutes, నాట్ రాంగ్, బ్రిలియంట్లీ డన్. నాకు అది మీరు ఇంకా చెప్పలేదు అసలు. ఓవర్ వాటర్, అండర్ వాటర్ ఎలా షూట్ చేశారు? అండ్ ఇప్పుడు యాక్టర్స్ ఎంతసేపు ఉన్నారు అట్లా అండర్ వాటర్ ఉన్నారా, లేకపోతే అది కూడా క్రియేటెడా?
No, I'll tell you. I'll come one by one. Underwater, let me talk about underwater. Initially discussion was happening, we fixed this company, DNEG, water simulation, all those things. Appudu we had to put the ship and the camera was only moving, the ship wasn't moving.
Okay.
For that, the camera speed, lighting, everything has to be decided. Suppose this shot, the moon is coming here, again when you cut and go, the moon shouldn't come from that side, you will get double moon. All those things we have to keep in mind. And then the mood created in the mid sea, you are there, that little bit of silence, wave sound, in that how to execute. We were shooting inside a set. Set is like only 45-50 feet height, your ship is going to be 80 feet height. We divided low angle shots separated. Above the ship we reduced and brought the ship like this, we put the containers. So that planning is very important. Above the ship with containers we shot those things, and some very tricky shots where the boat is here, they're putting rope and climbing, cameras to go back, how to manipulate. That manipulation only happened in pre-waves and discussion. We did that very immersively, we did that. And number two, when the discussion came for underwater, this film has got a lot of underwater. Appudu that VFX supervisor from abroad, he was suggesting dry forward instead of completely shooting in an underwater. Let's do a dry hanging people and doing in a dry forward without getting into water. They did Aquaman kind of thing, they told. I never agreed this. I told directors, it's not going to work, sir. Today you will feel happy. I mean, artists are not struggling and doing this, but when the water touches you, touches the field, that is where you get the impact. More dramatic, and you will feel you are underwater. Even Aquaman, that is, you can't take it as an example. Reason, fantasy film. Kids will watch that film, bubbles going in the background, and that also was not easy. Reason, that physics had to be applied. The actor was rung with the rod and they were rotated on a wheels to create the simulation. First time in India, I tried it in Sye Raa.
Okay, you did it?
Dry forward, I tried. Chiranjeevi garu interval portion la he goes on killing. That underwater we shot in a real underwater tank. But opening sequence, he can stay for 10 minutes or 15 minutes underwater. Sequence undi. Atanu oka yogi
laga kuchani.
Adu cheppinappudu not more than 1 minute you can't sit in the water. Right. It's very tough to do. Right. So I suggested appudu ee Aquaman technique I told to them, but nobody else had done. Kamalakanan garu was the VFX supervisor. I told, sir, I want to try something different, because this is the only way. You can't torture Chiranjeevi garu putting in the under the water for so many, your lungs will start swelling. It's very difficult to do. 120 frame speed la I shot that action. And then what I did was, usually when you light from the water, when you're underwater, the water is here, the light only comes from top. Either it's a sunlight comes from top, or whatever night light, it comes from top only. So we had to simulate that light. The impact was not there. So how to create an impact? I tried to create the same caustics. When you go in the water, when the sunlight penetrates to the water, it creates a ripple caustics.
Light koncham itla disperse avutadi.
Disperse avutadi. So I asked the art director, just make me a 12 by 12 aquarium kind of glass. Aquarium hanging above, I want it, but not so big. At least half feet or 1 feet of water I want, I told. So he made a big 12 by 12 glass. He poured water into it. I started getting my lights and trying to get a caustic pattern.
Okay.
So that gave an illusion of you are there inside the water kind of thing. One fine day.
అక్వేరియం లో కూడా, మా ఇంట్లో ఒక అక్వేరియం ఉంది. అక్వేరియం లో లోపల లైట్లు ఉంటాయి, పెడతారు, ఇక్కడ ఒక లైట్, ఇక్కడ ఒక లైట్, అండ్ దట్ డిస్పోజెస్. ఆ లైట్ మంచిగా ఈక్వల్ గా డిస్పోజ్ అవుతుంది. కానీ మరి అంత ఈక్వల్ డిస్పోజ్ అవుతే కూడా బాగోదు కదా అండర్ వాటర్ సీలో. ఇట్ హ్యాస్ టు కొన్ని చోట్ల ఉండాలి, కొన్ని చోట్ల ఉండకూడదు.
Exactly.
Then how did you manage that?
No, that's what, when you aquarium, what happens when you put, you'll be having only soft light. Tube light landy light untadi, softer flatter you'll see the fish.
Right.
That is not a thing. Real life la when you go to somewhere in Thailand or somewhere underwater, you see scuba when you go, the light comes from top. The hard light creates a pattern. Dispersion is more, refraction happens there. And then baki area lo sky nunchi vachina sky clouds and soft light vastadi. So you will have a nice contrast. In aquarium, what happens, you light up beautifully, you will not get that feel.
Correct.
Actually he is in the ground only, mandapam pettukoni dantlo Chiranjeevi garu unnaru.
Okay.
Mandapam Paina, I constructed a 12 by 12 glass. The light which hits him from the top, it should not be like a cinema light coming from here. That is the reason I did it from there. Then after 4 months, Tarvata, Mana Kamalakannan garu, CG VFX supervisor, called me. Sir, I tried in some other movie, that effect didn't come. Why? Okay. Then I was telling, sir, I tried to create that caustic effect. That only gave you illusion of thing. Yeah. Then what happened? This movie, I convinced the NTR garu and Koratala garu. So dry for wet technique will not at all suit for this. It look very fake and artificial, whatever performance you do. And climax is there in thing. And they also agreed. But we had to shoot in Kapoli, Bombay, Pune, oka studio on the, water. But taking everybody, we don't know what is the kind of action, how many days it's going to take. Because it's a 20 feet water. When you put somebody under the water, they can lose the breath, they can die also. They need to get a training. Right. So production, they got some 5-6 fantastic scuba guys, headed by Sukumar, one guy was there. He was leading the team. They were standing next to the actors in underwater tank. Suppose somebody is going, immediately they'll catch and help with oxygen cylinder.
Boy, it's very risky, andi.
Risky, but what they did is fantastic. Even you can learn in 2-3 days time. Okay. They make you acclimatize. First water la just get acclimatized, then go 3 feet, then go 10 feet. So that's a process. Once you are acclimatized to the area, then you can do your stunt. More than 20 they were under the water.
And I think most of the time it was on NTR.
Yes.
The camera goes on NTR. He must have really...
No, that was we planned. Which shots NTR, which shots dupe, which shots original, all those things. Okay. But NTR also, he just came to that and did underwater. He put so much of effort. And it's not like you have one tank, his camera outside capturing Kadu. Camera goes with him wherever when he takes the knife, camera goes there. And then underwater, I try to do this camera turning. Okay, shot le
correct. Yeah, okay shot and 2-3 unnai alanti shots.
2-3 shots. That's my iconic shot. Like one Nenokkadine, I tried that shot. One particular shot will come and go often. Yeah. Now a lot of people are using same shot. At least you've been inspiration for that.
What an experience, Rathnavelu garu.
Thank you, Andy.
I can actually, again re-visualize. నేను ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే సినిమా చూసానో మీరు చెప్తూ ఉంటే నాకు మళ్ళీ ఆ ప్రతి సీన్ అలా ఇట్లా తిరుగుతోంది రీల్ గా. అమేజింగ్.
అండ్ వన్ మోర్ కాంప్లికేటెడ్ థింగ్ ఇన్ దిస్ అండర్ వాటర్ ఇస్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ జస్ట్ ద మూన్ లైట్ కమింగ్ త్రూ ఇట్. పైన బోట్ బ్లాస్ట్ అయింది. సో ఆ బోట్ నుంచి ఫైర్ అని రావాలి లోపలికి.
రైట్.
I had to rig the underwater tank. I convinced the producers to build it here only in Hyderabad. I told them construct it properly. Like some other cameraman can use it for permanently, because Telugu cinema compulsory underwater will be there. In a year, at least 60 days or 100 days, people will use. And you take the privilege of owning underwater facility. Then they built a underwater tank 20 feet deep with filtration plant, so much of water, everything. It helped us a lot. Otherwise, every time flying people going to Bombay, coming, something fails, again going back, the cost would have gone somewhere. And we wouldn't have tried these kind of shots. I tried to simulate the fire light also. The entire underwater setup, when you see, it's been rigged with all lights. I connected to computer. Sometimes lightning will go inside to give the impact for the action. And the fire light will fall on NTR garu when he's going and killing. The fire will give that impact for him. It's not just one blue light on water. These kind of things.
Water and fire combination.